You've just had, as Rich said there in the studio, an injection of about $1.95 billion US dollars from the likes of Sequoia, Tencent, SoftBank as well. Crucially, they led the funding round. How are you going to put that money to use?
Obviously, we have lots of plans for putting that funding into use. Basically, we're going to divide up the funding twofold. One is for potential acquisitions in different business areas that we want to grow.
How much are you setting aside for acquisitions?
Oh, that is something that we're still having a discussion internally, not for public consumption. And the other portion of the money, obviously, is to fund our existing growth in the different business areas.
And how much growth are you seeing now? Can you give us a steer on how many clients you've got, how many trucks you've got synced up within the domestic market?
Obviously, they call us the Uber for trucks. So we have two sets of clients in the marketplace that we have created. We have shippers on one hand, and we have truck drivers on the other hand. In terms of truck drivers, we have approximately 5 million trucks that are on the platform today. And also on the other side, where we have shippers, the numbers also in the million mark.
How many trucks do you expect to have synced up as part of this system by the end of the year?
We've basically been growing, not less than 30% year per year. And there are only approximately, 6 million long-haul heavy-duty trucks in China. So we already have probably a majority of the trucks on the platform already today.
In terms of where you're at now with the strategy, is this about continuing to build out that market share? Or are you starting to look now at turning a profit? At what point does this become a profitable business?
Well, we are, obviously, you know that we actually went through a merger at the end of last year. After the merger, we already started to monetize the platform a bit. However, our goal is to serve our users and customers well. So when we starting to monetization, we are looking at actually very, very carefully. We don't want to disrupt their existing business in terms of their fees and also their operating expenses too much. So we be looking at very gently trying to monetize with the aim of helping them to grow their business. The company is actually looking to turn a profit by the end of this year. That is the current expectation.
Okay, are you focused on automation? How much are you spending on automation? You started out testing automated trucks. Is that happening?
Yeah, well, autonomous driving trucks will be an area we want to go into aggressively. We think the commercialization of autonomous driving for passenger vehicles probably will take longer to come, despite all the hypes out there. However, we think the commercialization for trucks, autonomous driving trucks, will happen sooner compared to passenger vehicles. Obviously, the idea is very simple. When we're dealing with the long-haul truck driving or long-haul freights in China, we think when the trucks get onto highways, it's more optimal for machines to take over and drive that long haul. And when the trucks get off the highway, we can probably let the human drivers take over and deliver the last couple of miles.
Yeah, so automation important. In terms of, you're focused on the domestic market, obviously, primarily now. Do you have international expansion plans? When might you put those into place?
Yes, as you know, this business model and also this technology has developed, domestically in China. However, we do think this business model has global application. So for us, we do have international and global expansion plans. We think markets where, with a large landmass, where there's lots of economic activities, where you have a well-developed highway system, where you have high fragmentation on both sides, both shippers and also truck drivers, is ideal environment for this type of business model to actually develop. Places like US, South America, Central Asia, Southeast Asia, these are the areas where we probably will be thinking about the international
And you might be looking
expansion.
at investments in those areas as well.
Correct.